The spark of war. The galaxy had been quiet for many years. Trade ships moved through the stars. Colonies grew on faraway worlds. People believed that peace was finally strong. But peace never lasts forever. The first sign came from a mining colony, on the edge of human space. It was a small place, just a few hundred families. They dug deep into the planet's crust, pulling out rare metals that powered Earth's fleets. Life was hard but simple. Children played under the pale sky. Families worked together, dreaming of brighter futures. Then the sky turned black. Sensors screamed. Huge shapes appeared in orbit. Alien warships, bigger than anything the miners had ever seen. Their hulls glowed with green fire. Their weapons shone like suns ready to burn. At first, the miners thought it was a mistake, maybe a convoy, maybe explorers. But then the message came. A cold voice, sharp and cruel, filled every speaker across the colony. Humans, you are trespassers in this galaxy. Kneel to the Empire or burn with your world. Panic spread. Parents grabbed their children. Workers froze, unsure what to do. The colony leader sent out a desperate call to Earth. Unknown ships in orbit. Threats made, "We need help." But the signal barely had time to leave before the aliens fired. Green fire rained down from the sky. Buildings exploded. The ground shook. Families screamed as their homes turned to ash. The colony had no defenses, no weapons strong enough to fight back. One man, a young technician named Daniel, ran through the smoke toward the station. His skin was burned, his hands bloody, but he pushed forward. He knew the colony was doomed. But he also knew one thing mattered more than his life. Warning Earth. He slammed his fist against the console, forcing the system back online. Static filled the air. He coughed blood, his body failing. But his voice was steady. "This is Colony Vega 4. We are under attack. Repeat, under attack. The aliens have declared war. Tell Earth war has begun." The signal reached Earth just as the colony went silent. Across the solar system, the news spread like fire. People gathered around holoscreens. Some wept, some shouted in anger, some refused to believe it. Humanity had always wondered if aliens were out there. Now the answer had come, not in peace, but in war. World leaders met in secret chambers. Generals argued over strategy. Should humanity try to talk? Should they beg for peace, or should they fight? One general stood, his voice cold and steady. "They came to us with fire. They will not stop with one colony. If we bow now, we lose everything. If they want war, we'll give them hell." But not everyone agreed. Some leaders feared humanity was too weak. The aliens had thousands of ships. Humanity had only a few fleets scattered across the stars. Could Earth really stand against an empire so vast, so powerful? Meanwhile, the aliens celebrated. On their flagship, the alien commander raised his blade to the stars. "These humans are nothing," he hissed. "Weak, fragile, they cannot fight. Us, we will burn their colonies one by one until Earth kneels. The galaxy belongs to the Empire alone." But deep in his voice was pride, too much pride. He believed humans were prey, easy to crush. He had no idea what was coming. On Earth, ordinary people prepared. Factories roared to life, building weapons, ships, and armor faster than ever before. Volunteers lined up to join the defense fleets. Men and women who had never seen war picked up rifles and swore oaths. In small towns and big cities, whispers spread, fear mixed with anger. Parents told their children, "We did not ask for this war, but we will survive it." And far out in space, humanity's first fleets gathered. Old warships, scarred from past battles, lined up beside new prototypes still glowing with fresh paint. Pilots checked their controls. Soldiers prayed in silence. Commanders stared at the stars, waiting. They all knew the same truth. The first battle would decide everything. In the darkness beyond human space, the alien armada prepared its next move. Hundreds of ships moved like predators. Their weapons pulsed with deadly light. The alien emperor gave his order: strike the next colony. Let Earth see how helpless they are. But he was wrong. Humanity was not helpless. Humanity was waiting. The war had begun with fire, with screams, with destruction. But inside that fire was something stronger than fear, something no empire could destroy: humanity's spirit. The spark of war had been lit, and soon the galaxy would learn what happens when humans fight back. Asterisk, the first response, the message from Vega 4 had changed everything. Humanity could no longer deny the truth. Aliens were not just real, they were enemies. On Earth, the Council of Nations met inside a deep bunker. The room was filled with maps of the stars, glowing red where human colonies were most at risk. Military leaders spoke quickly, their voices heavy with fear and anger. They destroyed Vega 4 in less than an hour, one admiral said. If they strike again, our fleets may not be ready. Another voice answered sharply, we cannot wait for them to strike again. We must fight back now. But in the middle of all the shouting, one commander stayed silent. General Marcus Hale, a man with grey hair and eyes like steel, watched the star maps without moving. Finally, he spoke. His voice was calm, but it carried across the room like thunder. They think we are weak. They think we are prey. We must show them what happens when humans are cornered. If they want war, then war is what they'll get. The council went silent. One by one, heads began to nod. Orders were given. Humanity would fight. Across the solar system, preparations began. Factories never slept. Workers built new weapons day and night. Old warships, once left in orbit as relics, were brought back to life. Engines roared again. Cannons were refitted with stronger rounds. Shields were patched, repaired, and tested. But humanity knew they could not win with numbers. The aliens had thousands of ships. Humanity had hundreds, at most. So they had to fight differently. Human tacticians studied every alien broadcast, every piece of data stolen from the wreckage of Vega 4. They saw the arrogance in the aliens' movements. They noticed the patterns of their patrols, the way they underestimated smaller ships. And from these studies, a plan was born. It began in the asteroid belt. A small human fleet, 18 frigates hid among the rocks, engines silent. They waited in the shadows. Their crews were tense, sweating, hands gripping weapons. Some whispered prayers, others only stared at the stars. Contact, the captain whispered. A massive alien warship entered the belt. It was 3 times larger than any human vessel, its hull covered in glowing symbols of conquest. Its weapons were powerful enough to erase a city in seconds. The aliens laughed as they scanned the asteroids. No humans here, their commander said. Weak creatures. Hide, they cannot face us. But then the trap was sprung. The asteroids moved not naturally, but pulled by hidden engines. Massive rocks shifted position, boxing the alien ship inside a deadly cage. The human frigates powered up all at once. their engines bursting with light. Missiles streaked out from the shadows, slamming into the alien warship's shields. Explosions lit the darkness. The alien commander roared in anger. Impossible, these weaklings dare strike us. Cannons fired, the belt shook with fire. But the human frigates moved fast, darting in and out of the asteroid cover. They hit the alien ship again and again, targeting engines, weapons, weak spots. The aliens had never thought to guard. Finally, with one last torpedo, the alien warship cracked apart. Fire swallowed its whole. The explosion shook the entire asteroid field. The humans cheered. For the first time, they had struck back and won. The victory spread like wildfire. Across human colonies, people who had been afraid now stood taller. Messages filled the networks. We can fight. We can win. But the aliens were furious. On their capital world, the Emperor slammed his claw against the throne. How dare these humans resist? They are insects. Crush them. Orders were sent. More fleets would come. Entire armadas would move toward human space. But the aliens still made one mistake. They believed the first ambush had been luck. They still did not understand human minds, human will. More battles followed. In gas clouds, human ships hid and struck from behind. In icy rings around distant planets, submarine-stern spacecraft launched torpedoes like ghosts. Every time, humans fought with tricks, with cleverness, with fury, and every time, aliens underestimated them. One alien admiral sent a report back to his emperor. These humans fight like predators. They do not meet us head-on. They stalk us. They strike from shadows. They vanish. We kill one, and 10 more appear. They are not prey. They are something else. The emperor tore the report apart. He refused to believe it. Back on Earth, General Hale looked over the growing reports of human victories. They were small wins, but they meant survival. Still, he knew the truth. This is only the beginning, he whispered to his staff. They will come with greater numbers. They will come with fire that can swallow worlds. We must be ready for what comes next. And somewhere beyond the stars, alien fleets were already gathering. Thousands of ships, engines glowing, weapons primed. The war had only just begun. The fire unleashed, the galaxy trembled. News of humanity's daring ambushes spread fast. Small victories in the asteroid belt, raids in the gas clouds, hidden traps that destroyed alien warships. These stories reached every corner of Space. 2. Most alien species, the humans, were still unknown, barely more than whispers. But now, those whispers carried fear. Could it be true? Could fragile humans really wound the mighty empire? The alien emperor refused to believe it. Sitting on his black throne, his voice was sharp and merciless. These humans are insects. Their tricks mean nothing. Send the fleets, burn their colonies, tear Earth itself from the sky. And so it began. 9,000 alien warships gathered at the edge of human space. Their hulls glowed with cruel light. Engines thundered, shaking the void. It was the largest fleet the Empire had ever sent against a single enemy. Inside the alien command ship, Admiral Zur stood tall. His armor gleamed. His claws tapped against the rail as he looked at the holomap. Destroy them, he said to his captains. Erase them from history. Today, the humans die. The fleet advanced, swallowing the stars. On Earth, the alarms echoed across every city. The enemy was coming. General Marcus Hale stood in the war room. watching the incoming armada on the map. His officers were pale, their hands shaking. "Sir," one whispered, "there are too many. 9,000 ships. We cannot." Halley cut him off. His eyes burned with steady fire. "We can, and we will. This is our home. If we fall fighting." But what the officers didn't know, what the aliens couldn't even imagine, was that humanity had been hiding something. For decades, deep in secret shipyards, hidden under the oceans and inside hollowed asteroids, humanity had been building more than just fleets. They had been building monsters, colossal battleships, covered in black armor, armed with weapons the galaxy had never seen. Some called them Earth's Ghost Fleet. Others whispered the name the Fireborn, and now they were ready as the alien armada crossed into human space, sensors lit up with hundreds of contacts. At first, the aliens laughed. "More prey ships," they said. But then the shadows moved. From behind moons, from inside asteroid caverns, from under the black oceans of distant colonies, massive human warships rose. Engines ignited like suns. Cannons glowed with red fury. The Ghost Fleet had awakened. Admiral Zer stared at his screens in shock. "Impossible," he roared. They had nothing. But humanity had been patient. Humanity had been preparing. The first shots lit the void. Alien beams slashed through space, carving holes in human lines. Frigates exploded, torn apart, in seconds. But then the human reply came. Massive cannons fired bursts of light, so bright they blinded sensors. Missiles streaked in swarms, weaving like hunters. Railguns fired solid slugs faster than light, tearing through alien armor. The void became a storm. Human ships moved with fury, smaller vessels darting in and out, striking at weak points, while the great battleships tore through the alien lines, like wolves among sheep. One alien commander screamed, "They fight like demons. They are not prey, they are predators." Still, the numbers were overwhelming. Hundreds of human ships fell. Entire colonies shook as alien beams scorched the skies. But humanity did not stop. In the middle of the chaos, the flagship of the Ghost Fleet, the TSF, Defiance, charged forward. Its hull was black steel, its weapons glowing red. It cut through the alien formation, firing every cannon it had. "Target their command ship," shouted Captain Elena Ward, her voice steady even as her ship shook. The Defiance plowed through alien fire, shields sparking, armor cracking. Crew members were thrown from their stations, alarms blaring, but the ship kept going, refusing to fall. It reached the alien flagship, a monstrous vessel twice its size, for a heartbeat. The two giants stared at each other across the void. Then they fired. The clash shook the stars. Beams cut across space. Missiles slammed into shields. Armor cracked. Fire spilled from both ships. Inside the Defiance, the crew fought to keep systems online. Sparks rained from the ceiling. "Captain, we can't hold much longer." An officer shouted. Elena Ward's face was calm, her eyes burning with resolve. "Then we don't hold. We finish this." She gave the order no one expected. "Ram them." The Defiance turned its engines to full power. It roared through the void, straight toward the alien flagship. The enemy tried to dodge, but it was too late. Steel met steel. The two titans collided. Explosions ripped through both hulls. For one blinding instant, the void was fire. When the light faded, both flagships were gone, torn apart in the greatest explosion the war had yet seen. Humanity had lost its strongest ship, but the alien fleet had lost its heart. Across the armada, alien ships hesitated. Their command was broken. Their emperor's promise of easy victory was shattered, and in that moment of doubt, humanity struck with all its fury. The Ghost Fleet moved like a storm, tearing through the weakened lines. Aliens tried to regroup, but humans pressed harder, faster, stronger. The war had changed, but as the smoke cleared, one truth became clear. Humanity had won a battle, but not the war. Alien reinforcements were already moving across the stars. More fleets, more weapons, more fury. General Hale stood in the war room, watching the battle reports. His hands were steady, but his voice was cold. This was only the beginning. The fire has been unleashed, and we will burn brighter than they ever imagined. The turning point. The wreck of the Defiance still burned in the void. Both humans and aliens remembered its sacrifice. For humanity, it became a symbol of courage. For the aliens, it was a shadow that whispered, "These creatures will not die quietly." But the war was far from finished. The alien emperor, furious beyond reason, gathered his advisors. His throne room shook as his claws slammed against the stone floor. "First, they ambush us," he growled. "Then, they destroy our flagship. Enough games. I want Earth burned. I want their world turned to ash." His admirals bowed low. One spoke carefully. "My emperor, perhaps we have underestimated them. These humans," he never finished. The emperor's strike broke his chest. The others said nothing. The orders were clear. Bring the largest weapon the empire had ever built. A ship so massive, it was called the World-Eater. It was not just a warship. It was a moving fortress, built to crack planets apart. And it was coming straight for Earth. On Earth, General Marcus Hale received the reports. His face stayed calm, but his heart tightened. "A world-eater," he said slowly. "So they mean to end us with one blow." His staff waited for him to give up, to admit defeat. But Hale only leaned forward over the map. "Then we won't wait for it to arrive. We'll meet it head-on." The room went silent. No one had ever suggested charging such a weapon. It was madness. But Hale's voice carried steel. "If we run, Earth dies. If we wait, Earth dies. But if we strike first, maybe, just maybe, we live." Preparations began at once. The Ghost Fleet, damaged but not broken, was repaired in record time. Colonists donated resources, engineers worked without sleep, and even civilians volunteered to join the fight. But humanity knew brute strength alone could not defeat the World-Eater. They would need something more, something deadly, and so scientists unveiled the weapon they had sworn never to use. It was called Project Silence, a cannon hidden on the far side of the moon, built in secret years ago. It could fire a single beam strong enough to pierce the heart of a planet. But it had one flaw: it could only fire once before it burned itself out. The plan was clear. The Ghost Fleet would lure the World-Eater close to Earth. Then, at the perfect moment, Silence would fire. One shot, one chance. The day came. The World-Eater appeared on the edge of the system, blotting out the stars with its size. It moved slowly, but every step forward shook human hearts. Alien fleets surrounded it like guards around a king. Their weapons glowed, ready to burn everything in their path. The Ghost Fleet launched from behind Earth's shadow, engines roaring. Human soldiers strapped in, eyes wide, hearts pounding. They knew most of them would never return, but none turned away. The battle began with fury. Alien ships surged forward, their beams cutting across space. Human ships darted like knives, weaving between blasts, firing railguns and missiles. The void shook with explosions everywhere. Humans fought with desperation. Pilots screamed battle cries as they rammed enemy cruisers. Marines boarded alien ships, fighting hand-to-hand in zero gravity. And all the while, the World Eater moved closer, its cannons charging, its core glowing with energy enough to erase Earth. Inside the Ghost Fleet flagship Valor, Captain Aiden Cross gave the order, "Draw it in. Make it believe we're desperate." The fleet shifted, pretending to fall back toward Earth. Alien admirals laughed, believing victory was theirs. "They run," one shouted. "Their fear is stronger than their fire." But they were wrong. Hidden on the moon, the Sunlance began to charge. The ground shook. Cracks split the surface. Power roared through its core. Scientists whispered prayers as the machine screamed with heat. "Target locked," said the lead operator, sweat running down his face. World Eater in range. But they needed the World Eater just a little closer. "Hold." General Hale's voice was low but steady. "Hold." The World Eater finally revealed its true weapon. A massive beam began to gather at its front, bright enough to blind every sensor. If it fired, Earth would be gone. "Now," Hale roared. The Sunlance fired. A spear of light, brighter than the sun, tore through the void. It struck the World Eater's side, cutting through armor like paper. For a moment, silence. Then the giant screamed. Its hull cracked. Explosions rippled across its body. Fire spilled into space. But it did not die. Damaged, bleeding, but still alive, the World Eater turned, its glowing cannon toward Earth. Fire again. Someone shouted in panic. The scientist's voice broke. "We can't. It's dead." One shot, that's all it had. The humans stared in horror. They had wounded the monster, but not killed it. And in the shadows of space, the alien cannon continued to grow brighter. General Hale clenched his fists. His voice was quiet but hard as iron. "Then we finish it another way." Asterisk fire and fury. The World Eater's cannon glowed brighter than a star. If it fired, Earth would vanish. Cities, oceans, mountains, everything gone in one flash. On Earth, millions watched the sky, praying for a miracle. In orbit, the Ghost Fleet burned, broken ships drifting, crews still fighting even as their hulls fell apart. General Hale's voice came across every channel, calm, steady, iron. "This is it. Humanity stands together, or humanity falls. Give them fire. Give them fury." The order went out. Every human ship, damaged or whole, charged toward the World Eater. Even civilian freighters joined, engines screaming as they rammed alien escorts. The void became madness. Beams tore across space, missiles streaked like meteors, and ship after ship exploded. The humans fought with everything left, every bullet, every missile, every drop of blood. But the alien monster still lived. The cannon swelled with power, seconds away from firing. On board the human flagship Valor, Captain Aiden Cross stood. Tall sparks rained from the ceiling, consoles burned, and alarms screamed. But his voice never shook. "Crew," he said softly, "this is the moment. We carry the fire of Earth, and today we burn brighter than them all." He gave the order no one wanted, but everyone knew was coming. Set a collision course. Gasps filled the bridge, but no one refused. Not a single soul. Hands moved Controls. Tears fell. Smiles came through the fear. The Valar turned its engines toward the world eater. The alien admiral on the fortress ship laughed when he saw it. One ship. They think one ship will stop us. But as he watched, something terrifying happened. It wasn't just one ship. Across the battlefield, other human vessels followed. Damaged cruisers, crippled frigates, even burning wrecks with only a handful of crew left. One by one, they turned. One by one, they lit their engines. Dozens of ships became fire, and together they charged. The aliens panicked. Their fleets tried to intercept, but the humans tore through, ignoring death, ignoring pain. Some ships rammed escorts aside. Others burned engines until they exploded. Clearing the way, the World Eater's cannon reached full charge. Its light flooded the system. The Valar reached the hull first. For Earth, the crew screamed. Impact. The flagship slammed into the World Eater, detonating its entire core. Fire ripped across the alien Titan. Then the second human ship struck. Then the third. Then the 10th. Every collision became an explosion. Every explosion tore deeper into the alien monster. The World Eater screamed in fire. On Earth, the night sky turned into day. People shielded their eyes as the largest explosion in human history lit the heavens. When the light faded, silence fell. The World Eater was gone, torn apart, shattered into drifting pieces. But so was most of the Ghost Fleet. The Valar and countless others had given their lives to make it happen. General Hale stood in the war room, watching the final scans. His voice was low. They did it. They stopped it. His officers bowed their heads. Some wept, but none felt shame. Humanity had faced the impossible and endured. The cost was terrible. But Earth still lived far away in the alien emperors. Throne room, silence reigned. Advisors dared not speak. The emperor stared at the reports, his claws trembling. 9,000 ships, a World Eater, and still the humans had survived. They cannot be fought like others, he whispered. They are not prey, they are fire. Fear spread through his empire. For the first time, species long enslaved saw hope. If humans could defy the Empire, perhaps they could too. The war was not over, but the balance had shifted. On Earth, a message was broadcast across the stars. It was General Hale standing before the flag of humanity. His voice carried to every world, every ship, every listening ear. Aliens came to burn us. Aliens came to break us. But we are still here. We are human. We fight, we endure, and we finish what others begin. The galaxy listened, some in fear, some in awe, some with hope, but none doubted anymore. Humanity had entered the stage of history, and they were here to stay. In the ashes of the battlefield, among drifting wrecks and burning fragments, one beacon still pulsed. A single human escape pod floating in the silence, its signal repeating over and over. We are alive. Humanity fights on, and the stars themselves seemed to whisper back,